Hello, hello, hello. I'm back again. Your main, the real Bill Real. I have a short clip that I want to play for you with Al Sharpton addressing the media. And in the beginning, he's going to be referring to the Marissa Alexander uh, case where she's being paraded around, just like Trayvon is being paraded around, as an innocent victim. She did nothing wrong. So I just want to let you know what he's about to tell you. So let's play the tape. Let's go.
Al Sharpton, president of the National Action Network, is addressing the media. Let's listen in.
Even hospitalized, who had a peace wine and got into, after her husband and her went through this, got into a argument.
And got into and after her husband then and went and got into. Now what he's attempting to do is he's attempting to give you half truths. Remember, whenever someone gives you a half truth, it's a whole lie. Always remember that, and you'll never be misled by people. So what he's about to say is she had some kind of peace warrant and all this other kind of stuff, which is a lie. This is what happened. Marissa Alexander was most likely creating lots of tension because she operates in her seven. If you don't know about the seven that I refer to, go back and check out the video about women are wicked, men are righteous, something like that. Check out the video and you'll understand what I'm talking about. She was a drama queen and she was provoking the man. The man was falling for it. He was beating her up or whatnot. And one day they had a fight, I believe a verbal fight. He probably was putting hands on her then as well. And she leaves the house and she goes and gets a gun from another part of the house. And she shoots at the wall. And this bullet traveled through the wall, and it came just a few inches above the head of her stepson, her husband's son. So she was arrested. A few weeks after she was arrested, she was told, obviously, when you get arrested like that, you can't have any contact with the victim or whatnot until we go to court and get it all worked out. Well, evidently she had to get him to sign some type of paperwork. I believe it was an insurance form to keep the kid on the insurance or whatnot. They end up having a falling out. Then she gave him a black eye when the police came out to the scene. And they locked her up, and she has been incarcerated ever since. Now, what he is not going to tell you is that the state offered her 3 years, okay? Because I think it's like 10 if you brandish one. I think if you shoot is like 20, something like that. So she was already looking at 20 off top. So 20, versus 3. Okay, this was on the table. She refused it. The jury went and deliberated for 12 minutes, came back with a guilty verdict, and they gave her 20 years. But he wants you to believe that she's just so innocent. She did nothing wrong. And white folks picking on us. That's what he wants you to believe. So I just want to set the stage so that you're not listening to him and thinking that he's intending to be honest with you.
With her husband, she fired a warning shot in the wall.
A warning shot in the wall. Now, how do you shoot a warning shot that goes into the wall? Yeah.
No one hitting, no one injured.
Hitting no one injured. Well, what about the law? What about the law? You want to tell them about the law that's on the books? to keep people from brandishing guns in the house during a domestic fight and quite possibly killing the kids over your bullcrap? But he's not going to tell you that. Let's go.
They refused to let her use stand your ground in Jacksonville, Florida.
Because it wasn't stand your ground. She wasn't standing her ground. She had an opportunity to leave the premises where this threat was coming from, where she said she was just so afraid to be. Which shows that her story's bullcrap, just like Sabrina Fulton's story is bullcrap, just like Tracy Martin's story is bullcrap. He is the liar's advocate. If you have a lie, if you have a hoax, if you have something where you're guilty and you need to get the public to believe that you're innocent, hire this guy. This is who you want. You want the liar Al Sharpton. I'm not calling you a reverend because I don't revere you. Let's go.
And she's doing 20 years in jail. There's something incongruous.
Is something incongruous about the law that she probably knew about? This is what he wants you to believe. It's not fair that she has to follow the rules. She's black. Black people don't have to follow the rules. You have to bend the rules in our cases. You got to look the other way and put pressure on the state and make us, not guilty. Just to stick together. It's pure ignorance that he's selling you.
That a woman that hurts nobody is doing 20 years. And a man that kills a young, innocent, unarmed man.
The young, innocent, unarmed man. As if he intended to set out to kill. He's continuing to paint us as the victim. We're just victims. Everybody just wants to come and shoot us. Don't buy into their bullcrap. Especially not to his bullcrap. He's the whole entire reason why they pressed charges against George Zimmerman. Him and Jesse Jackson. There needs to be some type of information coming for you too, buddy. We know you're a Mason. We know. But let's go.
Is giving his gun back and sent home.
He's giving his gun back and sent home. As if he had done something that he shouldn't have got his gun back. This is the type of mentality that he wants you to have. He wants you dumbed down. He wants you thinking that, you know what? How did he get his gun back? If he shot that baby like that, how did he get him his gun back? They gave him his gun back because it was a part of evidence. Once the trial was over and once it was found out that your story was another lie that you had sold to the black people. Like I said before, people don't get mad at the liars. They get mad at the people that's lied on. That's what's so foolish about this entire case. They don't get mad at Crump. They don't get mad at Sabrina. They don't get mad at Tracy. They don't get mad at Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Obama. They don't get mad at any of these people that told them lies. But yet and still, they feel like they just have so much hate in their heart for George Zimmerman and his brother and family and all of they just all their races. That's how we've been turned around in our minds. It's pathetic. It is utterly pathetic how ignorant and how easily some people are to persuade with a storyline that appeals to their emotions, to their victim of old. Oh, poor slave, we can't get no help. Everybody hate us. Get out of here with that crap, man. But let's go.
We will be in Florida en masse. And we want to put on notice those corporations that support Alec even yet, who has been the legislative group to support and to get Stand Your Ground through in 30 states. Those corporations will be open in our 3-day conference to our deciding to withdraw patronage and consumers for those that invest in the demise of our community.
He wants you to believe that the Stand Your Ground law promotes the demise of black youth. This is the dumbed down message that this non-leader wants you to believe. That these companies that have supported a law that protects law-abiding people from attacks on their person, their families. He wants you to believe that it's wrong for you to be able to protect yourself. Even if it's a situation where you're getting into a conversation with someone, they decide that they're going to start cold cocking you, you fall to the ground, and instead of them just letting it go and walking away, they are saying to you, he is saying to you, you need to allow that man to do his business and finish up and bash your brains in. How dare you stop this fight? How dare you stop me from taking your gun from you and shooting you? How dare you? This is the type of brainless message that the people are buying into. It is astonishing the amount of people who respect this weasel, who has done nothing but lie to them, has brought them nothing but lie after lie after lie after lie. Scenario after scenario after scenario that he has been involved in that were nothing but pure fabrications, race baiting attempts, playing on white guilt. Let's put an end to his crap. Let's go.
Lastly, we will be here by the tens of thousands in Washington on August 24th, when Martin Luther King III and I, and National Action Network and all supporting groups have called a continuation march on Washington. 50 years ago that weekend, his father, Dr. King, stood in this town and talked about a dream he had. He came after the June assassination of Medgar Evers. He came because the South was ablaze with segregation and governors' lips, as he said, dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. He came because we did not have the right to vote in the South.
See, this is just designed to dredge up old memories, just to make you try to compare him to Martin Luther King, as if like what he has stood for has been anywhere near the I Have a Dream speech. He wishes. Let's go.
And the protected right in parts of the North. We come 50 years later with the Supreme Court having gutted the Voting Rights Act and voter suppression schemes all over the country. We come not with a June assassination of Medgar Evers, but a July assassination of our being able to protect our children.
So if you want to protect your children, how about you pass laws where the man has to come out of prison if it's a non-violent offense? So-called leader. Because that's the reason why the boys are getting in trouble anyway, because there's no father in the home. But you want to go after these corporations that stand for something righteous, which is a man's ability to pull out his gun and shoot you if he fears that his life is in danger. And how dare you try to sell this on the black people who are buying into your crap? You should be ashamed of yourself. You actually are ashamed of yourself. That's why your face looks like that. Let's go.
From civilians walking armed and reckless.
Civilians walking armed and reckless. He wants you to believe that all white Hispanics just walk around armed and reckless and they're looking to come and shoot your black kids. That's the kind of mentality you have to be in to buy his bullcrap. That's what he's selling you. We got to do something to protect them. But we won't go and do a protest against these gun manufacturers. We won't go to Chicago, the murder capital. We won't go to Washington. We won't go there and really speak out against this black on black violence. We need the perfect person to blame. We need to blame companies. We need to protest the companies and stop the companies from making money because the companies they kind of, this is the type of asinine thinking that's going on. Come out of that idolatry. Idolatry makes you dumb. Let's go.
We come with civil rights and voting rights threats that are almost the same as they were 50 years ago.
Okay, but we're not going to talk about any of the things that were happening when people were voting. We're not going to talk about any of the intimidation that was going on the Democratic side. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to make you think that, hey, black folks had a hard time voting Barack Obama in for the second time. We still struggling. We still ain't got there. And we still ain't got anybody in the White House to represent us. That's what he wants you to believe. This is how dumbed down you got to be to believe this guy. Let's go.
They are just a little more finesse. They have been given a little more cover. But
they're a little bit more finesse, and they have been given a little bit more cover. These companies that are against your black boys. But we won't talk about all of them that get pent up in cases where the cocaine is planted in the neighborhoods and we take the dads out and we kind of pretty much got a little feeder system and we put them in prisons. We're not going to talk about the actual prisons. We're going to talk about companies that are law-abiding. They help the community. They are productive. We need to destroy them. This is the type of rationale we're dealing with. Let's go.
The results are still inequality. The results are we still do not have equal protection under the law.
This is a lie. He wants you to believe that black people do not have equal protection under the law. That is a bold-faced lie. You have to look like this guy here to believe it.
And equal access to the ballot box. From 100 cities Saturday to Miami Conference next week to Tallahassee to Washington, we are going to fight. On Saturday night with the verdict, we lost the battle.
The verdict, we lost the battle. That was the battle and the war. Everything else is pure foolishness, and you know it. It's foolish pride. That's what it is. All the protests, all of the celebrities acting like a monkey, all of these people talking about they're not coming to Florida and boycotting and all that. Who cares? Don't come to Florida. Good. Stay out of Florida. Who cares? They're acting like they pay the people. No, the people pay you. So keep doing that crap. And something that I came across that was outrageous. I understand that they're attempting to get LeBron James and Dwayne Wade to go to another team to boycott. If that is not the epitome of buffoonery, let's go.
But the war is not over, and we intend to fight. Let me say.
And we intend to fight. We intend to fight with what? Fight with what? What is your argument? What is your argument? Your argument is that B-37 and The law wasn't right. See, what they really want to do is they want to change the law around to see if they can get some type of lawsuit going. They can turn some type of case into like the whole entire state of Florida. See if they can sue them. That's what they really want to do. They want everybody going at it. But what we have to do is we have to continue to speak the truth. That's the problem right now in our society, is that we don't have enough people that care enough to just say, hey, you know what? This is not how it should be. You're not telling the truth. You're not being honest. You're selling the people a package of lies that you know are lies. It's time out. But let's go.
Before we open up, that we urge all that participate with us to do so non-violently and peacefully. Those that have gone into any sporadic acts of violence, because 98% of all the protests have been peaceful, do not represent us, do not represent the family, do not represent Trayvon Martin. His memory and name should not be smeared with reckless violence.
Well, that would mean that the people that have already been killed and beat up and come on. Are you serious, Al? Are you serious that that's not what they want? I've already told you that Tracy Martin says that he's an advocate for senseless violence. The information about what led up to his shooting has already smeared his name. The way that his parents have acted and their disrespect for the law and their disrespect for justice and honesty has already smeared his name. But you do not have the integrity to admit that. That's why I cannot take this seriously.
Was killed by reckless violence.
Yeah, he was killed by reckless violence that he was perpetrating against George Zimmerman. This is what we really should talk about. We should talk about lean usage. People that drink lean and become extremely violent. That's what we should talk about. We should talk about the dangers to your brain. We should talk about the dangers to your liver. We should talk about how it leads to a life of crime. This is what we really should be covering right now. And we should be encouraging all males to go and be a part of that young black male's life. This should be the message. But this is not his message. He wants to blame everybody else for the failures of the black family as a nucleus.
Cannot fight recklessness. You cannot fight violence by becoming it. We're not trying to outgun violence. We're trying to outdo and undermine those.
We're trying to outdo and undermine people. What type of leader even uses the word undermine? When a man speaks to you and he uses the word undermine and outdo, that lets you know he's operating in his seven. Yes, he's operating in those seven sins. He stands for wickedness. Do not follow him.
That would take lives. We must be what Trayvon was, and we will conduct ourselves that way.
We must be what Trayvon was? We must be... Oh. People, research who the child was. The child was not the type of child that you would want to claim as your child. Fighting, tattoos, graffiti, gang violence. Come on, list goes on and on and on. People were passing him along. And they were making excuses for him because his father is a Mason. And that's what they do. They cover. They cover for that son. They can go and talk to a state attorney. They can go talk to a lawyer. They can go talk to a judge, and they can get everything the way they wanted it. That was an excellent move that Mark pulled by getting it set up the way he had it set up. But although I didn't think that at first, but we must be more intelligent. We must understand that these people are attempting to manipulate us. Let's go.
Every rally we had leading up to the prosecutor, that Reverend Bryant led, that I led, and others, was peaceful. Not one window broke, not one brick thrown. That's how we must conduct ourselves. That's how we will move forward.
Okay. Let's see if he sticks to his word about that. The last thing he wants is a peaceful protest. If you think I'm wrong, keep living.